Hey, join me, Shyam Sunder, co-founder of Slate and founder of Triple Dart. He bootstrapped Triple Dart from about $6,000 to over 7 million a year, worked with 300 plus sales companies, and became the first B2B agency in India to be Google International Growth Partner. And I actually saw this announcement on his LinkedIn, I think today. So he's building Slate, an AI platform that helps companies show up when buyers ask ChatGPT and Perplexity for recommendation, already running inside enterprises like Razorpay and GE. Shyam, welcome to the show. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks, Eugene. Thanks for having me in the show.
All good, all good. Look, first, how do I pronounce your name?
It's Sham.
Sham. Okay, Sham. Look, first to frame our conversation, when I go to your website, it says, AI operating system for autonomous marketing agents, right? Which is, great for the marketing, but can you simplify it for us in the elevator pitch just so that we understand what are you doing?
So Slate is the like a agentic infrastructure layers that you can run almost any agent using a tool or a platform, right? So what it mean by that is, for example, you use a Claude to build certain agents. You use Perplexity to build certain agents. You use Gemini to build certain agents. But these agents that you're basically creating, it is mostly like a one of an agent that doesn't have a context, right?
Mhm.
So just to uh, uh, make all these agents work concurrently across all the goals that you have, it needs a context. Context has to be your first party context, your second party context, your third party context, and that has to be came from multiple tools, right? So
Yeah.
what we are trying to do is, it's a GTM production environment where people can come in and build their own agent with their own context, where they can automate, they can create multiple recipes and then goals. So just to give you like a overview, right? So for example, if you go to a designer and ask for their work, they share Figma files or Behance or Dribble profile. If
Yes.
you go to a developer and if you ask for their work, they'll share GitHub or any of their code projects, right? If you go to a marketer and ask for their work, even today they're sharing their resumes. We wanted to change that, right? We want every marketer in the world to share something prototypable which they built for any of the companies that they used to work with. And this Slate is a platform where they can build prototypable works on the marketing side.
hmm Okay, this makes sense. Thank you for clarifying because I needed to have more context before I dive deep into the questions. Do you believe that the agencies, as we know them right now, are going to be dead within the next year? Because according to you, if I'm not mistaken, from one of the posts, I mean, you did build a pretty successful agency. You've been doing, 7 millions, but then you transition towards the software, and you said that the agency model is dead. So, would love you to comment on this.
Got it. The biggest spend in the market right now is not software, it's just the people cost, right? You take any of the people cost that companies have been spending, so that's the huge, that's basically 100x bigger than the software cost, right? So I see people are moving away from buying hours to mostly buying outcomes, right? So I
hmm
won't say that the complete agency model is going to get like you know die. But what I'm trying to say is, you need to be much faster, much efficient. Instead of selling hours, you need to sell outcomes, right? So that's when this service as a software play comes in. So what I mean by that is, so there are few agencies that sells hard, that sells a particular services. There are certain tools, they basically sells the software, right? So services as a software as a component that comes in. We have our own operating layer. On top of it, we also have elite operators. We actually own outcomes. So what do I mean by that is, so in an agency world, people spend 80% of the time on execution and 20% of the time on strategy,
Yeah.
right? When you have a system in play, it's a flip. We do 80% of the time on actual human strategy judgment, like taste of like what you wanted to basically build, and 80% of the executions can be taken care by your the operating system that we have built. So that is a model. If an agency who push in like this, and then They just not sell ours, they also sell an outcome, and they have a proprietary tech. I think they have an edge over others.
So what you're saying is basically this service-based work is getting transformed towards the outcome-driven work because the work itself is getting commoditized by AI.
That's right.
And then the follow-up question is, if we get, SEO, right, as an example, right? So you work with that every day. It used to require a very proficient team that is, writing, that is optimizing the website, everything from the social media to all the communication that you've done with your clients outside of the email, as well as the strategy. So now there are tools like yours and the general tools like the Cloud Code that can help a business owner to do that. So do you still feel that the agencies have some sort of an edge
That's right.
within this
Yeah.
evolvement?
Yeah, so things are getting more and more noisier right now,
Mm-hmm.
Eugene. Right, like distribution is the hardest thing that every company is aiming for, right? So I would say, like if for example in an SEO world, right, for an SEO analyst, they say, hey, an SEO analyst work with you for 40 hours, and we charge $100 per hour. That was the old agency world. Right now, what clients have been asking for, I don't care if it is a tool or if it is a person, we want our rankings to be on top three. We want our AI search visibility to be like increasing. We want our citations to be increasing, right? So what happens in that world, right? So you need a proficient team who thinks how can we get there faster, and to get them faster they need some tools and technologies on the back end. So
Mm-hmm.
what we promise our client is not ours. What we promise our clients is not subscription fee. We promise, okay, hey, these are all the goals that you have for the quarter, and we use our technology and other the brilliant minds behind it to get there. So you need both, is what I'm basically saying, right? Why we need both is because human judgment still matters a lot on what to pick and what to leave. You can basically run 100 experiments in parallel, but that human has to tell, okay, like this is the experiment that I'm going to double down.
Okay, that's very interesting. And I very value your opinion because you are the person from both worlds, right? So you have your agency and you also sell a software, right? So is there, by the way, a conflict when you found the traction from the software where you felt like, oh, so now we can serve this segment with the software charging less compared to the agency?
Yes.
So
Okay.
were you finding something weird in
Yeah.
that sense?
Yeah, good question, by the way. See, from a triple dot standpoint, even though I have the great team, great talent, and also really good tech, so I don't think I can onboard 2,000 customers a year, right?
Mhm.
It is not scalable, right? So our goal is we wanted to be the premium GTM engineering shop where we work with the best B2B companies in the world, where they need the human mindset, strategy, and also the tool, right? But there are million other companies, they have in-house team that they just want the systems to build on its own, right? So for them, we basically sell Slate independently, and we do coaching of how they can build their own agents, they can build their own workflows, they can build their own architecture of like one system to another system, right? So that is what we do on the Slate side. But again, right, so there is a ceiling on the triple dot side. So I cannot onboard like 1,000 customers on a month-on-month basis, but on the Slate side, I can actually onboard 1,000 customers on a month-on-month basis. So I would say it is a positive rather than a negative.
Everyone who is watching us live, we are streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Like and subscribe. Also, in the comments, you will see a coupon code to get the 10% off your first instantly purchase. Now, Sham will be giving us a walkthrough of his own AI system in a few minutes, so stick around. But I do have one follow up question. What do you think is the first service that AI is already killing in the agency space?
All right. So I wouldn't say killing. I would say rapid evolvement that's happening in the agency space, right? Because content is a model, that came into picture even before ChatGPT, right? So for example, in 2020 or 2019, companies like Copy.ai, Jasper, right, all they came into picture to used AI to help marketers navigate copywriting, blog writing, and stuff like that. So that model that came I think 6 7 years back, compared to the model that we have today, I think the evolvement on the model is much 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 more sophisticated than what it used to be, right? So we but I don't think a lot of marketers know how to do content engineering. That's exactly what I'm going to show right now, as in the next 5 minutes, how you can do content engineering with multi-model basis. And for example, one model is very good with research, one model is very good with briefing, another model is very good with writing, right? You just need to mix all these 3 4 models to basically create a production ready or production grade content. So I think that is one thing, with a human in the loop, you can create really really good content. That is one space. And the second space I would say is like creatives and arts, right? For example, right now it is all your ad systems basically runs based on logics, right? And the logic, you can predefine the logic based on what it used to be in the history of running this ads for, let's say, 3 months or 6 months or something like that, right? I feel an AI agent can learn that skill faster than a human, right? So we're going to do a claim saying that it is impossible for any human to touch that accuracy, right? Because we cannot run ads 24 into 7,
Yeah.
while we are sleeping, but an agent can do that. And it can identify anomalies, it can identify wastage of spends, it can identify fatigues, and all those things, right? I think these are the two areas I would say it's rapidly evolving. And I'm also betting on image generation, video generation, that to come next. But these are the first two, service lines that people can scale really fast with AI.
Very interesting. Now, please share the screen. I'll make sure that people can see it. We're live. Tell us,
Yeah.
what are you looking at?
Yeah, so on the back end, it's like how you onboard a employee. That's exactly what you need to do. We are basically claiming Slate as your coworker for marketing. You can use this as a coworker wherever you work with, on your CRMs, on your Slack channels, on your project management, like ClickUp, Asana, whatever it is, right? So first, you need to build your brand kit. In the brand kit, you're just going to add about your brand, about your
Yeah.
product,
Yep.
content, your audiences, blah blah blah. Then you're just going to add all the topics that you wanted to do, and all the integrations, right? Like right now we are connected with CRM, ClickUp, Slack. We have two use cases: Fathom, HeyReach, and multiple other integrations, right?
Yes.
So this is the first step. So once this is done, Slate exactly identifies, okay, so think about, you live in an Asana or a ClickUp world where you wake up, the project management tool just not tells you what tasks that are pending or what tasks that are due, but it also tells you, hey, if you're not doing this task, this is what the consequences would be. Or, hey, you've done this task 2 weeks back and this is what happened, right? It runs 24 into 7, and then it tells you exactly what you're currently doing, right? So how to set it, you need to just go to the asset, and you need to go to your memory, and you're just going to add a mandate, a commitment, a playbook, and all those things basically. So once this is done, then you are ready to build your first workflow, right? I'm just going to open a workflow that we already are running right now. Let me share
Yeah,
an
show us
example.
something live.
Yeah, that's right. So you have heard of listicles, right? Listicles is nothing but you're going to list, your article against some of the best performing tools, softwares, blogs, whatever it is, right? So if you want to build a listicle, you need to do multiple research, right? One, you need to know about the software, and you need to get the reviews from G2 Crowd, Captera, Gartner, or Reddit, like all the public, Medium, Quora, all these sites. And on top of it, you need to understand the pricing from their actual website. Then you need to take a screenshot of all their home pages, and you need to give a verdict of whether this tool is right or wrong for a certain uses, right? So what we have done for them is, so this is the workflow on the back end. I'm just going to share that. So we have a brief, and we've added a file just to make sure that it is aligned with our brand, this thing. So once that is done, we are generating a prompt for banner creation. So we are completely automating from banner creation of a page to directly publishing it on your Webflow, WordPress, and whatever it is. So we are here using GPT 5.4, and we are saying, hey, you are a block generator expert, and this is what I want, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So that we are generating the images. Then there is a parsing of the brief. We are
So it
doing a
goes
research.
sequentially. Basically, you create a
That's
prompt,
right.
and then
That's right.
so AI creates a prompt, and then create based on this prompt, AI creates the
Yeah.
banner,
Yeah.
and then the article is basically like the same thing.
Yeah, so not the article, right? It has multiple steps that needs to be we need to do. So today you and me can create 100 content, 1,000 content, or 10,000 content, right?
Hmm.
But what we have done was we have created a validation agent that validate against your content versus all other content that goes out live in the website, and it will tells you, hey, this is accurate, this is not accurate, so that you're not going to call out something which is inaccurate, right? So all those things is what we would do in an agentic framework. So how it looks like. So I'll just run a history of something like this. 1 minute.
And just so that while you're looking,
Yeah,
what
go ahead.
is the end goal, for example, for this specific workflow? So, of course, like publish a piece of content to then get
Mhm.
ranked through the SEO as well as the AI search. Is this correct?
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's the high level version. I'm just checking if I can share any history that has been run in the all time. Yeah, I can see. Yeah. So what it does was it does, parse your brief completely. Then, it extracts the screenshot of an every URL. Then it writes the complete article
Mm-hmm.
without your this thing. And then, it has a compliance check that we are basically doing whether this is right or wrong. Then it rewrites based on the complaint that we have, and it is directly getting published. So this is one example, right? Likewise, we have multiple other examples. For example, so there is something called content refresh agent. So there are a lot of workflows that we've created. So that's why it is slightly difficult to get to what we want. But there is something called, we are converting a blog to a medium to a LinkedIn pulse generator. We are creating banners for all the listicles. So here you see we have done something called visual content engineer, so which is basically nothing but we are generating infographics based on this thing, right? We have scraped all the competitor pages. Once the competitor pages have been scraped, so we are extracting content and images of every competitor. Then we are actually generating a blog banner. So this is a blog banner that automatically got generated.
Mm-hmm.
Then a
Mm-hmm.
blog diagram that automatically got generated for the particular blog. Then
And by the way,
there
so sorry, can I stop you here because the infographic looks interesting. So, what model are you using here to generate it?
So we use, that's what I'm saying, right? We have close to 31 models right now. So based on the task, based on the complexity of the task, the model itself picks either Gemini or Nano Banana or Claude to basically build those
Tell
infographics.
me which model is the best right now for the infographic.
Uh, yeah, I would say Claude is decent and it not cost you a lot. But if you want a very, like a high end images, I would say Nano Banana you can go with. And otherwise, Gemini is also good. So yeah, I
Okay.
would say Cloud for day to day purpose, and for your like banner images and all those things, I would say Gemini.
Mhm.
And for something very detailed, Nano Banana too.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Look,
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. I do have a follow up on what you have just shown. If you don't mind me, this is going to be a bit of a provocative question because I really want to get your perspective. Let's say your tool produces the best text or image pieces of content that can get the highest ROI for a company when it comes to the AI search, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, there are a lot of variables, but I want to get this as an example. When every business has access to this tool, there are competitors within your market People can build their own stuff inside the Claude code. And when everyone can produce the perfect text-based content with the perfect understanding of semantics for, AI and general SEO, then who's gonna win? If we all gonna do it perfectly with all
Yeah.
of these cool tools, like how AI is gonna determine who to show and who to rank?
Yeah, that's where the 80% strategy and 20% execution matters the most, right? So the best marketer with like critical thinking and varied experiments are going to win. So for example, so you are asking for something related to a Slate, we can produce whatever content that we want using Slate. So what we have done was we have created something, I think, like, 1 minute. So we have created something called SlateIndex.ai right now using our own platform, right? So Slate Index is nothing but it's a marketplace which is very similar to G2 Crowd or Captera, but only for AI search,
Mhm.
right? So if I open this, so you look at this, right? So this is basically a G2 Crowd for AI search. Very simple, right? So it has all the categories, all the products and stuff like that. Let's go to contact center software, right? So here you look at this Genesis 5.9 talk test nice. They have like certain visibility score. If I double click it, I have the exact data of the pricing, the overview, the reviews, the what is what, and every single thing. So this is not a text-based content. Like what I'm trying to do is I'm scraping all the information, I'm putting a layer on top of it, and this is a real-time data. Whatever that's going to get changed on the pricing page would automatically change here. If there is any sentiment that's going to happen somewhere in ChatGPT or Perplexity, that is going to get reflected here, right? So the entire website, basically SlateIndex.ai, has been like created, produced, and published through Slate, right? So that is the power of a tool like this.
And so, like, sorry, like, back to the question that I originally asked. So what you're saying is that the actual execution, which is writing the good thing, producing something. This could be a creator for the marketing spend. This could be a piece of content for AI search, or you know a script for the YouTube video. Is getting easier and easier. And what matters is the strategy.
That's right.
And is this where agencies gonna win? So the people who understand how to strategize a certain campaign. But now, okay, the follow-up question, if the LLMs are gonna be smarter and smarter, don't you think that they will be able, based on your business contacts, create you a perfect strategy? So now you ask them, hey, this is my company, this is what I'm looking for. A, create me a strategy, deploy one agent, and B, based on the strategy, create the pieces of content and then, distribute whatever.
Got it.
Where is it? Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, so see, you can do it. An LLM or an AI model over a period of time, it understands your context and then build a really good strategy for your company. But where this gets more interesting is picking or prioritizing what exactly you need to do based on your business judgment, right? So, for example, you're very closer to the product. You are talking to your customers on a day-to-day basis. You know what other companies have been building and stuff like that, right? So the context behind what you're building and basically feeding that judgment to an AI is going to be the next big thing. That's one. And second one, whoever is going to do more with less, right? That's another bigger pie. For example, everyone is going to get very lesser marketing budget in the next few years because everyone has the LLM. So it
Yeah.
is all about what bet that you are going to prioritize, and if that bet wins and you have a great product, good customers, I think you'll succeed.
And if I'm not mistaken, you did raise for the first time, correct?
No, we didn't.
You didn't raise. Okay, so
We are a bootstrap.
why not? Because from what I see, you have already an existing product, good product market fit. You have an agency. You've been pushing this software to your own clients. And the next step for most people is trying to raise? Is it the
Yeah.
lifestyle or is this a business strategy?
Yeah, I would say it's a business strategy, right? Like, we are looking to rise if we have a very strategic partner in play. We don't, because we've been running Triple Dad for almost 5.5, 6 years, right? For the seed check or whatever that an investor is going to basically give, I think we already passed that stage, right? Because it's been a lifestyle company having a very healthy EBIT margin for almost 5 years. We have that reserve in the bank. So it's all about, if I get the money, what I will do. I don't want to raise money for just making noise, right? So I wanted to be honest with what I can do. Let's say if I'm going to get another 20 million quickly, can I deploy that 20 million in the next 2 years to become a 40 million company, right? So that is where we are here, right? So the product, we started selling Slate independently from February, and it is basically picking up. We've been growing really fast in the market. So I would say we have not got the product market fit yet. We are in the inflection point to get the product market fit yet. Right. So once I know this can scale really quick from wherever we are to a 10, 20 million company, then that is the time I would rise.
Okay, okay. This was the answer that I was expecting. Now, you did become the first B2B agency in India to be the Google International Growth Partner. What does it actually do for you besides Eugene announcing it on the show and this sounds cool? Is there a tangible benefit for it?
Yeah, 100% right. So see, what I mean by international growth partner is, so all the Google billing that's happened within India, they will basically understand what percentage of the budget on Google Ads has to be spent within India and outside of India. So for
Hmm.
example, let's say you're a software company who's built in India and you wanted to market a lot in the US and like other European market, then that is the time TripleDad would basically become that international growth partner, right? So what they'll say is, hey, you have built this product based in India. I have an international growth partner. They will take you your product to global or to North America or to EMEA, right? So they have their own strategies and stuff like that. So Google recommend TripleDad to be that partner to scale all the Indian companies to go outside of India. So that's a huge benefit, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. I didn't know that it's possible, which is really, really cool. Now, everyone who's watching live, like and subscribe on our YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Also, down in the description, you'll find a link to the 10% off your first instantly purchase. Now, Sham, right now we have a blitz, which is me shooting questions towards you very fast, and you reply either fast or
Yeah,
expand on your answer. You ready?
yeah, let's do it.
When it comes to a lifestyle business, would you recommend an agency or a software to make money and afford a good lifestyle?
I would say if you're a lifestyle business, you can make money from day one if you're good at your skills. So I would say services.
Bootstrap or funded? Which is more fun? I mean, you
Uh,
were not funded yet, but
yeah,
what is your feeling?
yeah. I mean, if you wanted to start, you have a big vision and you don't have any support and you wanted to bet bigger, then I would say VC packed is the right way to go about it. But we started out of COVID, so we have grown quite faster during those period. So we have that runway of money and reserve that we had. So we still run like a VC back company with our own money. If that makes sense.
It does. If all the models in the world disappear, which one would you want to stay? Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, some open source model, Kima, what are you?
Yeah, I would say, like, there is nothing like it exists. For example, if you look at it, ChatGPT used to be like, having 70% market share starting, like, I would say last year, May month or something like that. Now Claude gets most of the, I mean, 20,
Yeah, yeah,
25%.
it was like exponential
Right?
cross
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Right. And if you look at it on the image space or video space, Xfield is coming in and overtaking Gemini in multiple areas, right? So we need to evolve based on like what how the model is basically coming in, right? So for example, a Meta invested in Manus, so I'm just waiting for what exciting stuff that Manus is going to do with Meta, right? So we don't know what these foundational models are going to basically bring in. So I don't bet on a specific model, but I would say we need to be ready for the best model that's to come in and then just to use for our own purposes.
Choose one. Choose one, man. You need to choose one.
I would say right now Claude, but if you are an engineer, Codex.
Yeah, of course. Okay. For AI ranking, where is it easier to get visible? Perplexity, Gemini, or ChatGPT?
I would say ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, surfaces most of the bottom funnel queries a lot, right? So if you're talking about comparisons, talking about anything like quite sensitive related to your sentiment or all those things, so ChatGPT's indexation is much faster. So I would say ChatGPT, Claude or Perplexity, they'll have their own judgment layers. So if you are a business, you wanted to compete against the BEs, I would say Google AI Overviews, Google AI Mode, and then ChatGPT.
Best AI tool in your tool stack, obviously, besides Slate.
Whisperflow.
Whisperflow. Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. Same thing. I'm the fan. It changed my life. Tell people what this is for those who
Yeah,
don't know.
see, Slate, I would say Slate is more like an orchestration agentic infrastructure layer. So I need to talk to that coworker on a day-to-day basis, right? So I have a lot of things in mind. So I don't want to. I have a structured thought, but I don't know. I hate typing that structured thought in our text box. So Whisperflow is like a voice-based conversational tool where you can just press a button and then talk to any of the tool. It works on your email, WhatsApp, any of the tools that you're going to use if you wanted to talk to a chat box, right? So that's how I would call it, and then it saves a lot of time. And then I really like even right now I'm using Whisperflow for recording my notes. So let's say even though not using for a prompting purpose, if I wanted to save something, I'm just opening Whisperflow. Hey, this is what I have in mind. Just record it and save it.
Yeah, by
So
the way, we're not sponsored by Whisperflow, but we are the fan. And when I was, and when I am doing the tutorials, even on this show, I usually give the prompts through the voice because it's much faster. Long posts or short ones for AI visibility?
so both different, purposes. For quicker, for citations, I would say long content. Short term earns attention quickly. So depends on what you want. So for example, if you post something short term or short length, so it gets indexed faster, so you'll get an attention. But long form post will get you a citation that will stay for a very long time.
When you have money, would you prefer to buy a competitor or build out the startup from scratch?
I would say build versus buy anytime, because for me, more than a product that is an attached for us, it's always about the taste, the judgment, what's an architecture, how we are getting it built. That's more fun rather than getting something fixed quickly.
San Mateo or Bangalore?
Market US, product Bangalore. So I'm just shuttling between both the areas for the last 2 years.
Argentina or Spain?
Okay, I'm a big Messi fan, Argentina, but I really like Spain.
So who you're rooting on the Soccer World Cup?
Yeah, I think I was rooting for Argentina, but Spain deserves
Okay,
the win.
sure. Look, the very last question that I ask every guest that comes to the show: if you have access to the unlimited capital and the best talent in the world for the next 30 days, but you cannot spend it on marketing nor media buying, what
Mhm.
would you spend it on? Would you build a feature within Slate? Would you launch another startup? Where would you allocate these
Yeah.
resources?
So I would say, there are only lesser foundational models, right? So I would probably spend most of the amount on building a foundational model. Basically, think about a model that just works for marketing as a purpose. So we have a model for every single use cases right now. So we have a really great, I would say, future that comes with a mode of marketing. So I have not seen a lot of models exist right now. So I would say building a foundational model was going to, we've been spending a lot of money on that.
Very good answer. Look, Sham, thanks for coming in. Where people can find you?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, but yeah, I'll be mostly active on LinkedIn. So it's Shyam Sunder. You can just put Shyam SHIYAM. You can basically find me, or Shyam at tripledot.com, or Shyam at slatehq.com, SHIYAM at slatehq, or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we will paste some links below so you can connect with the guys.
All right. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Look, appreciate you coming in and answering all the questions.
Thanks, Eugene.
Cheers.